The Devil in White City by Erik Larson. Daniel Burnham was the leading architect chosen to build a fair to honor Christopher Columbus's voyage to America. Dr. H.H. Holmes was a serial killer who used the fair to lure women to their deaths. This book takes place in Chicago, 1890 to 1895. It follows Burnham over the 26-month period he was given to build the giant fair and definitely showed the hardships and struggles that came with it. The fair lasted 6 months and 27 people's remains were found shortly after. Police never discovered the actual number of people he killed over his lifetime. Nobody noticed the missing women until the fair ended, and by that time it was too late for them. Holmes finally got caught and was found guilty. He was put to death by hanging. If people weren't so caught up with the fair, a drastic amount of lives could have been saved. The general theme that we took away from this book is that you shouldn't get so caught up in something that you're oblivious to everything else around you. The people of Chicago were so wrapped up in the fair that no one noticed the serial killer. Also, the fair goers were so obsessed with the fair that no one knew what to do when the fair was closed. The fair was so perfect. Its grace and beauty like insurance that for as long as it lasted, nothing truly bad could happen to anyone, anywhere. We included this quote because we feel it supports our claim that everybody was ignorant and naive as to what was happening, only a block away from them. It's ironic 27 people lost their lives while the fair was going on, and people made these claims and had these beliefs. The White City had drawn men and protected them. The Black City now welcomed them back on the eve of winter, the filth, starvation, and violence. This quote pertained to the closing of the fair. We included this quote because we feel, again, that it shows the pure ignorance in the fact that the fair destroyed lives. It didn't protect them. All of the filth, starvation, and violence that were present prior to the fair never, in fact, went away. It was there for 6 months. The fair was taking place. People were just too preoccupied and wrapped up in their own lives and this new magnificent city to notice. This statement seemed to be very contradictory and the complete opposite to the truth about the city the entire time. That night, the exposition illuminated the fairgrounds one last time. Beneath the stars, the lake lay dark and somber, Stead wrote, but on its shores gleamed and glowed in golden radiance. The ivory city, beautiful as a poet's dream, silent as a city of the dead. We chose this quote because we felt this was a literal interpretation to what the city truly is. Underneath its beautiful surface, there are people disappearing, being brutally murdered, dissembled, and hidden away so no one can find them. Their identities fill the dark city and will disappear with it just as quickly as the fair began. Initially, the Chicago police had no answers, other than the obvious. That in Chicago, in the time of the fair, it was so very easy to disappear. This quote shows that the Chicago police hadn't been doing their job during the time of the fair, and they really had no explanation for all the disappearing people. Everyone was so invested in the fair that no one thought about the bad things that could be happening. Tens of thousands of human beings lured to the festive city by abnormal wages had been left stranded without food. People who came to work for the fair had no backup plan for once the fair was over. It's like no one acknowledged the future when the fair would be gone. The New York Times said, anyone familiar with the saga must be amazed at the failure of the municipal police department and the local prosecuting officers, not only to prevent those awful crimes, but even to procure any knowledge of them. The police should have never left H.H. Holmes kill as many people as he did. He didn't really make any effort to hide, and if everyone hadn't been so wrapped up in the fair, it probably would have been easy to catch him. What we took away from The Devil in White City is that people became so wrapped up in this amazing white city that nothing else seemed important. Everything comes to an end, just like the World's Fair, and you have to be able to go back to normal life after that. Make no little plans, they have no magic to stir men's blood. I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer, no more than the poet could help the inspiration to stand.